All right. So, intro to video and social media. So, first, we'll just do a little bit about me. I'm not crazy. I have a family, so you can be sure that you're going to get some sound advice. So, a little bit about me. I moved to Southern California 10 years ago from Missouri. My dad got
Oh,
a job over here, so we just moved the whole family over here. And long story short, we just kind of stuck around because we love the weather and love the people. And then I started working at the age of 13 as a janitor in my parents' music business. So I started young. I needed some money to get where I wanted to go. I was a musician, so I wanted instrument money. So I started working. So I'm just kind of a workhorse. I'll just do things to get them done and then worry about it later. By the age of 14, I joined a boy band and I was actually touring up and down California as a musician. So I grew up as a musician in a musician's household. So of course, like I'll do like whatever I want to be doing for music. So it was really cool to be doing that. And then I started teaching music and playing classical music professionally by the age of 15. So we were touring everything from like the San Diego Copley Symphony Hall, and then we'll get into some fun stuff later too. But I was a professional videographer, photographer, editor, and audio engineer by the age of 16, which sounds surprising, but I consider being a professional getting paid to do what you love. So by the age of 16, I was actually able to do that. So I was doing like studio recordings with different musicians. I was playing in bands and getting paid. I was hired for events to run audio engineering and different videography gigs. So by the age of 16, I was actually running a full part-time income doing freelancing, which was pretty awesome. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in piano jazz studies in 2020. And through this time, I started working as a wedding videographer and a corporate video editor as well. And then I paid my way through college working 3 jobs and scholarships. So I did not get anything handed to me. I had to work my butt off for everything that I achieved. And so working was just the way to do that. So I was the head of the tutorial center for one of my career jobs. And I was also a full time music teacher. And then I also did my freelancing videography jobs on the side as well. So I was up from about 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. almost every day. And then I married my college sweetheart. We've been married about a year now. And we have a husky. That's my husky over there on the bottom right. His name's Bucky. And we've had him for just over a year as well. So fun life. And then now I'm a realtor with EXP. I'm located in Lake Forest, and I'm working to provide for my family as a loving husband and a husky dad. Of course, huskies are big dogs, which means they need to eat a lot and they poop a lot, which takes money. So, yeah, just trying to provide my way of life and making sure I provide value to everyone else around me. So, let's get into this. Why video? Most businesses and business professionals, it's critical for the customer or client prospect to feel comfortable and trust the person they're doing business with. I found this to be a great way to be doing that through video because you pretty much get a face-to-face meeting before you actually meet them. So they can kind of gauge like your personality type, all everything that has to do with that. And then content marketing and video marketing puts a face and personality to your business name. They help with building that important trust and rapport that you're looking for to be working together with people. People like doing business with people, and video is the next best thing for getting that face to face meeting, like I just talked about. Video conveys more information to viewers much faster through reading a property listing description or scrolling for hours online to find a simple piece of information. Because pretty much when you talk about it in a video, you have that human connection to what they're actually trying to get information on, which in return, like their brain receptors say, okay, I'm connecting with this, I understand it more. Buyers can receive every information that they need at the push of a play button. Your viewers can get a feel for your personality and professionalism even months before meeting you. I have a YouTube channel right now, and I have clients on there looking up my videos. And I've gotten about 600 views even in the past week of potential clients that are looking at my content that won't even call me yet because they're not ready. They're in that information gathering stage. So, in return, your potential clients will be well educated and make sound purchase decisions with the information that you provide them. With a reasonable amount of time, this results in a lot of come list me calls, and you look like the local expert because you're already providing value to them. So that was like a huge big spiel. Let's get some feedback. Do you have any questions on that? Is it making sense? What do you think?
No, it's great.
Great. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So now we'll get into the process. And if it seems overwhelming, it's totally fine. It's perfectly normal. I spent about what equals a month on YouTube before even touching a camera. So I want to be the person that knows what to do and how to do it before I even get there. I'm sure a lot of you are the same way, or it's just like completely way too confusing to even gather what's going on. So we'll jump into all of that. Don't fall into the rabbit hole of complicated and expensive gear. Instead, focus on who your target client and viewer is, what the problems and questions they have, and how to answer those problems and questions with your video. So it's quite self explanatory, but really, what you want to be doing is don't focus on the headache necessarily of what's going on with the tech gear. Learn the minimum requirements you need to just get started, and all you have to do is provide value to people. Make sense? Cool. All right, so
Yes.
number one, plan and research. You want to research what topics and questions your viewers look up. So this can be anything like the home buying process, pre-qualification requirements, how to like go on a home tour, anything that revolves around the entire first process you can do. You could also do different things like how to up your curb appeal, how to walk through a neighborhood like you're going to buy a home, or it could be something simple like working with a broker versus working with a realtor. What's the difference? So anything educational content that will help them along with the process. And then number two is record. Know what gear you need, know how to set up and use your gear. And then also, if you're in like a moving environment like I am right now, you want to plan an extra 15 to 30 minutes to set up your gear. Then after that, you can hit record. So this happens after you do your planning and research. So you're going to know what you talk about, you're going to know how you're going to say it, and you're going to know what person this content is for. After that, that's when you set up your gear and you push record. So you're not just going to like push record and blabber on about whatever. This is an intentional process that you're going to be using to educate your potential clients. Is that making more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome. And then after that is edit and publish. Now, edit is optional. Right now, we're in a content marketing stage where everyone wants raw, real, and authentic. They don't want polished and looking like a movie. So if you want to sit there, put your phone up there, push record, you can do that. If you want to do like my whole like professional looking kind of thing over here with the camera and the lights and the background and the whole thing, you can do that too. It's really up to you, but really it's more about the person you're talking to and how you can help them. That's the most important thing. Okay? Also, if you want to be editing, take out the dead space or the extra fluff. So if you have like any big pauses, if you stumble over your words, if you like do anything that you're like, okay, I really don't like that, I don't think that's beneficial to this video, you can actually clip that part out. And there's some really easy tools to do that that are even free or like free trials that you can use to get those out. Even on your phone, you can edit on your phone. You can edit on a computer. Computers are a little bit more sophisticated. I'm actually working on an editing course right now for some of the main applications so that you guys know what you need to know to do some simple things like cutting out clips or starting or stopping a video. And then the other thing is make sure your volume is at a great level. Audio is half the battle with videos. You can like have a really crappy picture going on, but people need to make sure they can hear you. So making sure your audio is at a good level and really loud is the most important thing here.
And
Um,
can you suggest a video for the editing, like on a YouTube?
Yes, I can. I'm also making a couple right now again myself too. And then there's also a couple apps. I can put that in the chat here. So for me, I like using InShot. That's an app on your phone that you can edit with, or Splice. You guys can get started with those two ones. Just kind of poke around and see what you like. It's a little bit sophisticated, but if you look up a couple tutorial videos, like these are probably one of the more basic ones that you can get started with. And those are
Thank you.
just apps that you can do on your phone. I'm not sure if they're on Android because I'm on iPhone, so just double check that. But basically, any typical video editor app on your phone will do pretty well. And then anything Adobe products. So like if you have Adobe, what is it called? Adobe Premiere Pro, I'm pretty sure they have a app on iPad that you can use for that as well. But we'll get into that later. That's like a whole nother beast. But yeah,
Sorry.
no worries. Absolutely. That's a great question. And then if you have no desire or you don't want to take the time to actually learn this, because it is a lot of a learning curve, so it will take some time to be doing, hire an editor. You can get lots of different options online with Fiverr and other apps like that where you can hire someone with like basically minimal pay, anywhere from like $10 to $15 an hour. And with each video, especially if it's like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, it should only take about an hour to 2 hours of work. So you're basically paying someone $30 to take that headache out of your system. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about the setup for iPhone. Now I priced this right about $87 with pricing I found literally yesterday on these products because they constantly change, as you know, Amazon does. So if you look up here at the top, you have a tripod or a desktop tripod. You want to have something where the camera doesn't shake. That's where the tripod comes in. So you'll set up this guy on the ground, or if you have a littler guy, it might look something like this guy right here. And what this guy does is you just set it up on your desk, on your dining room table, doesn't matter where it is, and then you can just go and record. You need something to keep it from not having a shaky video. That's like step number one. And then you also need a phone mount. If you're using your phone to record, which this is that setup, you'll want something like this. And then I have over here a couple suggestions. You have a desktop tripod, a Manfrotto Pixie Mini, and that's what this little guy looks like over here. And that only comes in at $28. So I'm pretty sure we can afford that. And then your phone mount, something like this would be a Ulanzi Rig or U-Rig Pro. And that's this guy right here. Basically, it's a metal frame and it has two purposes. Number one, it has all the screws you need to hook up to something like this for your tripod. Number two, this is actually a metal cage. So for whatever reason, if your phone falls, this will actually protect it way better than your actual screen can. So you have two options there. You can either do the small clamp or you can do the whole rig like this guy. In this guy, it's only the metal piece. It doesn't have the extra crazy stuff on top like the lights. So you just have to worry about that part. So how it works is you get your phone, you put it in your mount or clamp, and then you screw that onto the tripod, and that is really your whole setup. So that's all that you need to get started. Your optional gear here is if you want to have lighting on yourself and you want to make sure your picture is bright and your face is all bright and shiny and beautiful, then you'll grab a ring light or something like that. You can do a ring light or a box light, and that'll help you brighten up everything that you need to do. And then you also have the microphone over here. You can actually use camera microphones with your phone. And I'm about to get into that with some more educational content there. But if you are super far away from your camera or you want to eliminate like all the background noise of whatever's going on, you need to have a separate microphone dedicated to making sure your audio sounds great. So those are the main pieces here. And then your suggested gear here, once again, we have all those. Now the mic I suggest is super expensive. It's a whopping $18. So I'm pretty sure you can just grab that if you need to do that. Which I highly suggest getting one. And there's some additional cables that you might need, but this is just the basics to get started. Is anyone overwhelmed, or are we on the train?
Oh, we're good.
I'm good.
Good? Okay. Is this simple enough to get started where you know what to do today?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So let's talk about a more sophisticated setup now. Camera gear. This one is going to be the biggest headache that you'll encounter when you're doing this. But what we're going to do here is I'm just going to give you a simple setup to get started, and then you can like go off into your rabbit hole later. But the basics you need is a microphone, a camera, and a tripod. That's all you need to worry about, those three elements. The other thing, I guess, as well is the memory card. Make sure you get a 32 gigabyte memory card. Basically, how it boils down with the math is you can have anywhere up to like a 15 or 30-minute video with this card. So you'll have everything you need for long videos and short videos. So what you'll do is you'll get your microphone. There will be a microphone hole on your camera, so you'll just plug that right in. And if you see this little clip on the top there, that's where the clip goes to mount your microphone. And then once again, you'll just screw that onto the tripod. So this budget is a little bit bigger depending on what camera you get. You'll have a, the one I suggest is the Canon M50, which I believe on Amazon right now is right around $649. So it is a little bit more of an expensive camera. This camera though is an absolute beast. I've done weddings with this camera. I've done vlogs with this camera. I've done entire conferences with this camera alone. It can do literally any environment that you throw at it. Now, is it the best quality? No, there's more expensive ones out there, but it's as much and more than what you could be doing with your video stuff here.
Can
So,
you just start off with your phone?
yep, I just started with my phone. So if you look at my YouTube channel later on after this class, every single video I've posted has been with my phone. So also there's other channels where they do the little video test as well, and they do an entire year of content just on their phone, and then they do an entire year of content on a super expensive $3,000 camera like the Sony A7 III, and their viewers actually couldn't tell a difference at all at what camera they were using. So the more important thing is to know your settings, know how to actually record a video, and to use your content as a means of providing value to people. So whatever gear that you use doesn't actually necessarily matter. You just got to make sure there's a somewhat clear picture and they can hear you. And then depending on like your budget level, that's when you can do like all the super small stuff like, oh, I like this audio better, or oh, I like this picture I get better. But most of that is user error. So once you know your stuff, like you can do anything you want to with whatever equipment you have. So I've done like $1,000 budgets. I've done $100 budget. I've also done this past weekend. I did a political conference up in Santa Barbara, and that was $150,000 budget for gear. So, and the quality is basically all the same. Like, yeah, you'll have more bells and whistles, but the basic elements are still there. Okay, great. And then the other setup, which is a little bit easier too, is the webcam setup. This one is like your all-around workhorse for everything, as I'm sure you know already. If you don't have a webcam, get one today. That's going to be like your overall like Swiss Army knife video, and you can use that with Zoom. So what we're doing here today with my class right now is exactly what you can be doing for your videos. Is you'll set up some kind of background behind your screen, and then you'll have your webcam. Your webcam serves as your camera and your microphone. And I have a couple of different options that you can use for what to get. It ranges around anywhere from like $70 to $200. I'm a Logitech guy, so Logitech cameras, in my opinion, are great quality. And the main thing you want to look at here is you want to make sure it has either 1080p or it has 4K resolution. Basically, what that means is 4K resolution, it depends on screen size. It's not quality necessarily as much as screen size. If you look at a 1080p video and a 4K video side by side, you're not going to tell a difference because our screen is so small. The way you'll know the difference between 4K and 1080 is if you're looking at it on like a 32-inch TV versus a 75-inch TV. 4K resolution is meant for the bigger screens. Does that
I
make
got a
more sense?
question.
Yeah,
I
go
got a
ahead.
question. All right. So when we set up the webcam,
Mhm.
you know how people have like this thing in the background, like Joe has something behind him, like the ocean or
Yeah.
something like that. How do you do that? So
Yeah, there's this thing on
that part of
Zoom.
that.
Yeah, there's a certain setting that you can get in with your video settings, and you can set your background. So with
Oh, you
that,
can.
yeah, Charles got it. Yeah, and it really depends on what you're working Zoom off of. So if you have like an older computer, like I'm working on a 2015 iMac, it doesn't have that option. But if you have something newer that has those capabilities, you can select your different backgrounds. And it basically does an automatic green screen. What that means is it basically draws a cutout of your head around your shoulders. It makes you as what's called the subject. And then it gets rid of your background and it replaces it with an image.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah,
Okay. All
that's
right.
cool, huh?
Yeah,
All sorts of things. Yeah, it's just basic
no.
editing. I say basic. It's really quite intense how they got the programming for that, but it's really incredible. So yeah, back to our webcam setup. Basically, all you do is you plug that straight into the computer, and that's it. Simple as that. Now you do want to do some finagling. If your audio's pretty bad, depending on which webcam you get, you do want to have another microphone that can get better audio. But the one that I suggest down here is the Logitech C920X. Comes in right at $59, and that'll give you like the basic audio and video quality you need. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Cool. All right, so let's get into the next part. Let's talk about the confusing part of gear setup. So you have a couple of different options, and this is the exciting part because I'm an audio guy too, so I love this stuff. But you have a few different ways you can do this. For this kind of budget, I would place a basic microphone, a USB microphone like this, right around $120. And it works just like the webcam, but it's just for audio. So it's a microphone. The only problem with this kind of setup is it picks up everything. It's not what we call a condenser microphone or a shotgun microphone. Those are where you point to where it goes and it gets rid of the rest. This one is just an all-around pattern called a cardioid pattern. That means in a 360-degree circle, it picks up everything. The other option is to do a directional microphone, which is this setup down here. And this is a pattern where it's kind of the same, but it's a condenser microphone, and that would be meaning where you pretty much, it gets whatever it's pointing at, and then it doesn't get the surrounding parts on the side. So you're looking at like a, probably like a 90 to 180 degrees instead of all around.
So this microphone will pick up everything then, you're saying?
No, that one is a bidirectional cardioid, so it picks up the front and the back.
Oh.
Yeah, so you talk right in front of the mic. And for me, I actually have one of those guys. So it looks like this. And then, so this part is the protective grill, and that just means it protects it from breaking. That's it. So inside of there, if you notice, actually you probably can't see it, but inside there's basically a little circle for the microphone.
I see it.
Picks up in front, and then it picks up behind. So it'll get the reflections of the room back here. All that means is it gets like the room sound a little bit, but it mostly cancels it out. And then in the front, it'll only catch this direction of pattern.
Cool.
Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense? So like if you're
Yeah.
talking, you would talk right here. You don't talk on the top like this or on the back. You would just talk straight into it like you're talking to a person.
Now you talking to the metal part or the black part? Like if you got, like mine has a.
Yeah, you would talk right here into the middle part.
Yeah, because it's got like two different sides. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Does that kind of
Good
make
question,
sense?
but-
That's like a whole nother thing, but yeah. So we'll get into that a little bit more later, but that's the main idea. So you'll plug in this USB microphone into the cord into the computer. That's how that setup works. And then the more expensive option, if you want more versatility and you want to use any microphone that has great quality, you'll use this XLR microphone pattern. And this is priced around $240 for the microphone setup. So if you have more of a budget, I would say do this because you can use anything with it. If you want to do it something simple and easy and you just want one plug that goes into a computer, do the simpler option. So for this one, the XLR microphone, you need a couple of different elements. You have an XLR microphone, and the holes on the bottom will have these guys. So if it has the little twigs right there, you have a positive end, a negative end, and a ground wire. Basically, this will make it to where you have a really stable connection and it won't freak out on you. And everything's done through cords and cables. It's not really done later on with conversion kits and all that kind of crazy stuff. So you plug the microphone into the cable, and then you have this thing called an audio interface. So an audio interface, basically, you can think of it like this. It is a super small device that acts like basically an audio mixer that you would see at a stage or an event venue or something like that. It takes that entire large thing of moving the volumes and it basically breaks it down to where you have one or two inputs so that you can plug in microphones. So the reason that we use this device is because we can have one or two people on a podcast together and we can just record that into one destination. So it makes it super easy for everybody. Have you guys seen this device before?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. We'll get into that more later. I'll kind of show you mine at the end if we have some more time and you guys can kind of like poke around with it. But yeah, that's the main idea. So you have the microphone, you'll plug it into the cable, and then the cable will plug into this box. And what this box does is it converts the microphone sound waves that you get from talking into the microphone. It takes those sound waves and manipulates basically the code behind it into a digital format for the computer to pick up. So it takes your audible voice, converts that through wires and a whole bunch of science that we won't get into today, and it converts it into a computer code that you can read in your computer. So that's how your audio goes from your microphone into your computer. It's crazy stuff, but it works. And
Yeah.
yeah, I won't bore you guys with the details, but that's kind of how the line of signal connects itself. Do you have any questions with that?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. All right. How you doing, Heidi? Is it making sense? Kind of.
Yes, yes. I have a question. What about well, the iPhone 13?
Mhm.
It says like you talk and it takes out the sound from
Yes.
outside.
Mhm.
So could it work at the beginning? But
Sorry.
well, I would love to do this with the microphone if that's the perfect way to do it.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So you mean combining it? So like using your iPhone for the camera and using this for your audio? Is that what your question?
Well, but this one is for the computer, right? Or
Correct. It's for the computer.
yeah, yeah. And with the phone, you use the other ones that you showed
Yes.
before.
That is correct. Yes. So for this audio going on, this would be what you would use with the webcam. So you would have a
Oh,
webcam for the video, and then you would change your setting in the computer to use one of these microphones.
okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then for the iPhone setup, you would use a microphone like this that plugs into your microphone.
Oh, okay. That's the one. Yes.
Yes, that's the one over here. And that's
Now
the
I
one
have it
that's at
clear.
$18. So that's your cheapest option and it gets really good sound too.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you want to write that down, this one in particular that I own as well is called the Tacstar SGC 598.
Is that on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon. Everything that I'm showing you today is on Amazon or even in Best Buy, depending on what stock you guys have in the store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So at Best Buy, you'll probably find a cheaper tripod like this guy over here, and you'll probably find this camera. Now, this camera is more expensive on Best Buy than it is at Amazon. So just weigh your options there for budgeting. And then your microphone you'll find online at Amazon as well. And then you can also do SD cards either in store or on Amazon too if you do the camera route. But that's your main setup. So the basic pieces are your microphone, your camera, and your tripod. So you don't need any fancy lighting or anything. Just start with these three pieces because we're talking about the basics of just pushing record. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Great questions. So let's keep going now. We'll go over basically how to post on the different social medias. So Facebook, I'm sure you know Facebook has had multiple identity crises over the past couple months. But their target audience for the people that you will encounter is generally around the 25 to 55 plus age range, which is great for like your first time home buyers, your upscalers, downscalers, and your retirement community, which is basically everyone in our housing market, which is incredible. So you can promote your new products or services through going live. So basically you'll just push live and you'll present to your clients and your followers like, hey, this is what I'm offering for my services. If you need any help with real estate or any questions, just give me a call at blah, 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 blah. And my email is this. So that's what going live is for, is you're basically getting a face-to-face with them without making a meeting, which is incredible. And then you can educate your audience and attract brand awareness with stories and reels. Your brand is you. So that's the really cool part is you just have to go up there, you say, hey, this is what's going on with my week. I'm doing this many transactions. I'm working with a client that's going through this. There's a pre-approval process that you have to do before working with me. So this is how you get connected with a mortgage lender to go through the pre-approval process. So basically everything on the educational standpoint of taking them from the beginning to the end of the transaction, that's your educational content. And then, so you have a couple different ways of doing this. You can go live. So if you open up your phones and if you go onto Facebook, you have your news feed. That's like your main page when you open up the app. And then you have a tap for live button on the top left of that. Now, depending on your phone, it might be a different arrangement if you're on Android or iPhone and what phone you have, or if you updated the app. But generally, every app has live now, which is nice. And then if you want to add effects, like if you want to add stickers saying, visit me at blah, blah, blah.com, you'll tap that magic wand on the bottom left and you can add that text there. So you can basically add what Instagram and Facebook called stickers. And that's where you can layer on different images on top of your video while you do the live video. So it's pretty cool. It's like different layers, like Photoshop, but they made it super simple. And then you'll just click on the start live video, and whenever you're done recording, you just tap finish. It's as simple as that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for creating stories, the purpose of stories is basically like your personal blog. So you're just getting out there, you're saying, hey, this is what I'm doing today, or this is what's going on in the community, and here's how you can get connected with that. And so for stories, you'll create stories also on the top menu of your newsfeed. You'll select the menu option of a themed story, which is basically different elements that you can use to push record and do something and record it right there. Or you can do this in advance, record it on your own camera, and you can upload that file with like your photos or whatever. Okay. And then same thing here for stories. You can layer on music or text if you want to, and then you'll click on the blue share story button. Is that making sense? Yep. Okay, great.
Yeah, pretty much. But maybe we could do like a practice on one of the stories or something, because I don't know. I'm not the only one that's not tech savvy, so
Yeah.
we could do like a practice. Just a fake one.
Of course.
Not today, but another
just
time.
in general. Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then if it's ever confusing, I can send you guys different informational things throughout the week of different like tutorials that people have already created, or I could just send out a quick little tutorial for you guys as well myself. So it's just whatever you guys need. I'm at your disposal. If you want to ask me like a 50-page paragraph on what you want to be learning, do that. So I'm pretty much here to just show you the way. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. And then for Reels, Reels are another thing that Facebook just implemented, just like Instagram. So you do have Reels in your newsfeed on that same menu as well. This is kind of the same thing as stories, but they do their targeting a little bit differently. For Reels, it's targeted more for people that you don't know, not people that you're already in your circle with. So these aren't necessarily for your Facebook friends. It's for people that don't necessarily follow you. And basically they're targeting this to new people. So this is like your golden goose for getting more connections on Facebook, is getting on Reels. Same thing with Instagram right now too. So
Jordan, will you please, what would you say on Reels? Like the script?
that's a great question. Reels, you can do pretty much anything. So let me tell you this. There's 3 ways you can go about making content. There is educational content, there's entertainment content, and then there's inspiring content. You want to hit one or multiple of those things when you're doing video. So let's say if you're educating your clients, maybe they're discouraged, you want to do something inspirational for them and educational for them. If you're a little bit more of a go-getter and you love meeting people, maybe you could do something entertaining. So something entertaining on Reels might look like my top 10 bakeries in town, and you do that for your town. Or it could be something like the top 10 dog parks in Lake Forest, California. So you could do little things like that where you highlight your community or you highlight your local businesses. And that way, for one, you can do like some sort of referral partnership with other businesses, and you can showcase your community to your potential people that are moving in town. So this is more of like your showboat. I want to show the world what I'm doing, and I want to show them if they want to be coming too, everything that you're going to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And then the other one is Instagram. I don't know if you know this, but Facebook owns Instagram, so everything is pretty much the same as the last slide, okay? So within Instagram, it's a whole nother beast. I was actually looking on a market update this morning, and hashtags, they completely ripped that out of the water and changed hashtags for Instagram. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But Instagram is more of the younger crowd. Even though it's the younger crowd, you still want to be targeting and talking to the same group of people, because that's who's going to be buying and selling the real estate that you offer to them. Okay? They want to be looking at what services you offer, how you're going to help solve their problems, and if you're basically qualified to be selling their real estate for them. And yes, you're not selling your real estate for them, you're marketing your services to them, but you get the overall idea there. So for post, stories, and live, this all happens in the same area. If you look at the picture over here, you'll have this little plus button. And that's right there in the middle of your Instagram. That's where you'll basically upload content and tell Instagram what type of content you want to be posting. That might be a video or a photo, whatever you want to use. That's kind of like your central hub of where you'll get started for that. So tap the plus button in the middle menu, select the desired setting in the post, story, or live menu, and then you'll select your desired photo or video from your photo library on your phone, and then tap next, and you just follow your instructions to post. So it's very similar to Facebook. And then if you have any troubles, like again, just message me and I'll help you out with that. And like we'll do like a little walkthrough. But this can be like a really simple, easy guide just to get started. The whole idea is to just be posting. The thing about real estate in general, it's fantastic. It's what's called evergreen content. Have you guys heard of that before? No?
No.
Okay, awesome. So evergreen content, basically what this means is it doesn't die with time. You can post something about the pre-approval process. That information can be seen today. It can be seen a week from now. It can be seen a year from now. It doesn't matter. It's still relevant to the person that needs to be doing this. So that's what evergreen content means. So you could be posting something like the top 10 tips I suggest for you to look out for when you're buying older homes. And for that, you could be like, okay, you need to look at the foundation. Are there any cracks in it? Is there any flooding? Are you in a flood zone? Are you in a tornado zone? Different things to watch out for in the home buying process or the home selling process. So for the home selling process, an evergreen content idea might be something like the top 10 things you need to update in your home before you buy it or before you sell it. Sorry. So that could be like, okay, hiring an HVAC and air conditioning guy to come and clear out the whole HVAC system. Or it could be like landscaping, hiring a landscaper to up your curb appeal. Simple ideas like that. So evergreen content is something that's relevant today and later, and something that you might have heard of in the past that people are still talking about every single day. Is that making more sense?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. So that's your name of the game right there. And it's really simple because everybody else has already done it. So what I do is this thing called R&D, rip off and duplicate. Yep, exactly. Everybody else has already talked about it, which goes back to your branding. So this would be a personal branding thing. All you're doing is you're presenting the same information. All of us are realtors. All of us are trying to buy and sell real estate for other individuals or market our services for that. And then all of us are trying to educate our buyers and sellers on how they can be doing this. That's it. That's the same process. So whether it's like lead generation or client attraction over to EXP, you're still doing the same content as like a Mr. Joe Mendoza who joined us today, or like a Larry White if you know who he is. Basically, you're just saying the same things they are and putting your own personality on it. So your experiences and your expertise on that topic will vary from theirs. That's why the content sounds different. But just like the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun. You're doing the same thing that everybody else has already been doing. You're just figuring out how to market that to today's people. How are you doing on that? That was like a big thing right there. Is that making more sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So let's hit this last slide before we need to get going. YouTube. Who's scared of YouTube? So YouTube can be very scary and very simple. You just gotta know what the different elements are, because this is basically like Instagram and Facebook are players in the game. But like if you want to be serious about this, you get into YouTube. YouTube is like the thing right now. So it's kind of like your central hub of everything. There's a few different ways to go about this. Overall right now, you have a, well, let's just go over this. We'll go over the video format. Let's say you wanted to make a video, right? What do you need to do to make a video? How do you make the video? What's your scripting look like? What do you do for everything that involves that? That goes back to our first tip, planning and research. record, edit, and post. That's it. So I'll give you the sample template video format right here. And what you can do is right after this, go to a few different like realtor trainers and see if they do this format. Most likely, more than not, they're doing this exact same thing. This is like the general overarching golden rule of videos. And so when you're doing this, you'll start to see, oh my gosh, they're doing the same thing. I can do this. It's super easy. So here's the format. 5 to 10 second hook. Do you know what a hook is?
Mm,
To draw them in.
something, yeah,
How do you draw them in?
with the hook.
Yes, exactly. So a hook is this. A hook is basically a Instagram post. What are you doing with an Instagram post? What is the main reason why you're posting something on Instagram?
Get attention.
Exactly. So you get attention with your hook. A 5 to 10 second hook looks like this. Are you struggling with video? In today's video, we're going to talk about 10 tips on how you can succeed with making a video. So what did I do right there? Basically what I did to attract you guys to this meeting, right? It's oh my gosh, video sucks. I'm terrible at it. I don't know what to do. Like, what are the things I need to learn to actually do this and do it successfully? Or who can I hire to help this process and make it like an easygoing thing where I don't have to stress about it, right? So the things I touched on are this. I have a problem. I need a solution. I need to reach out to someone that knows how to do it, right? So we call this buyer psychology or buyer psychographics, okay? What this means is I'm taking an idea, I'm touching on your pain points of, oh my gosh, this sucks, I need help, and then I'm giving you a solution for it. So it's problem solution. You're going to be doing the same thing with your videos to attract all these buyers. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So there's a little extra thing for you there. But yeah, so after that 10 to 15 second intro, you don't need this. If you look at my videos, I have it on my longer videos on YouTube. Basically, this is like a quick little thing to say who you are, what you do, and what values you have. You don't need this because you're going to be doing it, but I just find it to be like a good little break between the hook and the main thing I talk about. So this is like a good little thing to basically set up, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. This is what you're going to be getting out of this video. Then I'll have this little break of a 5 to 10 second intro saying, hey, Jordan Morrison with EXP. I do this. This is what I value. This is what I like to do. And then I'll go into the main part of the video. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And then after that, you'll get into your main content. Now you need to be super quick with this. I think the attention span right now of the average individual is somewhere around like 2 to 3 minutes, and it's getting smaller by the month. So you want to be quick and snippy with this. You want to provide value or make them laugh within like the first minute of starting this. So whether that's like a joke or an experience or an inspirational story, you want to weave that into your main content, but honestly, they don't really care about you. They want to get their answers and leave. So your job is to provide the answers. And then if you provide enough answers to their questions, they're going to come back and actually say, okay, who is this person? They know everything about this topic. Who are they and how can I work with them? So that's like the long-term play. Right now, you just want to be answering questions like a come list me call of like, hey, I have a house for sale. I need to know XYZ. How do I get a pre-approval process? How do I prep my home for sale? You're answering all those questions on video, which is basically like your first initial call before they actually meet you. Okay, so that's what you're doing with your main content. And then a 15 to 20 second recap at the end. Basically, you're saying, hey, so you had this problem. Here's your solutions. Once again, boom, 1, 2, 3. And then, hey, if you have any questions, reach out to me at jordan.morrison@exprealty.com or just leave a comment down below. I answer any and all questions because I love you guys. And also, if you found any value in this video, go ahead and smash that like button and I'll see you in the next one. Right?
Jordan,
Yep.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I want to record that. Can you say it again?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm recording this whole thing so you guys can watch back to it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But yeah, so basically it's just like phone calls. You just write down your script. You have like your intro, your main points, and your ending. I've memorized a couple endings myself, and this is also kind of like the same thing I close out my phone calls with. So I'll say, oh, okay, hey, Mr. For Sale by Owner, are there any other questions I can help you with? No, okay, great. I'll be meeting you at XYZ at day and time. Thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to meeting you at day and time, location, and call. So
Great, thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So you're just going to run this just like a phone script. If you think about it like that, like the cool part is you're talking to a camera, not a person. So the whole anxiety of like that first call just completely goes out the window because you can always delete it and try again, right? You're not just on the spot. I think the most of the fear about it is like you're stuck with, okay, I have to nail this or they're not going to book me, right? So that whole thing is thrown out the window with video, which is nice. So this is a stress reliever, not a stress enhancer. You can do this at your own pace. Go as comfortable as you can, but it will be uncomfortable too. So you want to stretch yourself, but you can also like be you. And that's the whole point is people want to connect with people. Okay? Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's the whole thing. Now for shorts, shorts are incredible. Shorts are basically my best friend right now. With shorts, I just started shorts myself this last week because I wanted to see what all this was about. When doing shorts over the past 7 days, I've gotten almost 25 subscribers and over 600 views just starting this and doing it. So you can do a lot with shorts right now. So it's a vertical up and down video, just like if you have Snapchat, if you're like Snapchatting your kids, or if you're like just on a FaceTime call, it's basically an up and down orientation. It's not side to side, so it'll be up and down. Maximum 60 seconds. And if you want to post this on YouTube, just make sure you add hashtag shorts in the title section or the description section. And basically what that does is YouTube will actually make your settings to be, okay, this is a YouTube short, not an actual video. So that's what you do to separate that. And then you'll do everything the same as a video. So you want to add keywords of what you're talking about. So if you're talking about how to boost your curb appeal, make sure in your description and in your title, it says how to boost your curb appeal. So you can keep this almost stupid simple. You don't need to go crazy with it, but just kind of start. So make sure what you're talking about goes in the title and the description and the tags. We'll get into the tags later. And then for this one, it's cool. You don't have to worry about thumbnails. If you don't know what thumbnails are, those are the pictures that go on the YouTube page before you click on a video. You'll see the picture with the title. That's what the thumbnail is. So for shorts, you don't worry about that. You just upload the video, you give it a title, you give it a short little spiel like this is what the video talks about, and then you click on post. Is that making sense? Am I going too fast? How are we doing?
Well, the thing
Go ahead, Anthony.
no, so the difference between making a regular video and a short, like, is it when it comes up on the YouTube?
Mhm.
Is that I'm trying to? That's what I'm a little confused on. Like, okay, so if you're gonna have your own, say, your search engine for video, how to, how to buy a house or how do you prep the house, and then you have a short. Now, is it separated on YouTube, or is it just all? Oh, it's separated. Okay.
Yeah, they're so sophisticated now. They all have different algorithms for each part of sections they have in their websites. So for example, for Instagram, you have the explore page, you have your feed page, which is like all the things going up and down. And then you also have like reels and videos, right? So for that part, YouTube has the same thing now because they're trying to keep up with the modern trends. So YouTube, you can make your main videos just like always. Shorts is its own thing. So shorts, it'll be searched differently. It will be watched differently. It'll be sent out to people differently than main videos are. So this is like the same thing of how like stories and reels go on Instagram. This is shorts for YouTube. So same idea, different concept, different words.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And then Heidi, do you have a question?
I was thinking, what if we start like with a short, like because it's shorter.
So, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like more relaxing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, that's the whole point is you want to do what you do People do shorts, people do videos, people do like highly produced videos where it takes like $1,000 per video. People do it for free for videos and they just do everything themselves. You can do whatever the heck you need to be doing. The main thing is you need to provide value to people and post it. That's it. So if you want to start with shorts, start with shorts. I started with both. I have about 10 videos on my YouTube right now. Probably more like 6 or 7. But I have about 7 of those as shorts and then 2 of those as videos.
Oh,
And I've seen different results varying on different things. Also, it completely depends on topic as well. So if you talk about houses or something, or if you talk about makeup, if you talk about workouts, if you talk about dieting, they're going to have all sorts of different results. So you just kind of have to weigh out like what you want to be doing and do that one thing. The thing that YouTube doesn't like is when you confuse their content. If you're a real estate channel and you start posting about makeup, YouTube is going to be like, I don't know who to send this to because you have 2 different ideas going on. So you want to stay in your lane and post different things. Now you can have what's called buckets of content where it's your personality and what you like to be talking about mixed in with real estate. You kind of have to keep it all around real estate. So real estate, for example, I could be talking about like buyer sellerships. I could be talking about like scheduling tips because you need to schedule in time for, okay, I need to work on this at this time. I need to be fixing this at this time. I need to be listing my house at this time. So I could talk about scheduling. What else? I could also be talking about like family tips and life tips. Stuff like, okay, if you want to be going from this stage of your life to this stage of your life, then you should be doing this kind of things. And this is my recommendation. You don't have to do it at all. You can take it or leave it. But these are things that I've learned XYZ reasons.
Could it be like self-defense for realtors?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. So like the ideas are limitless. What I would say is type in whatever you want to talk about into the YouTube search, see what videos are there, and then like I said, rip off and duplicate. If you like the format of their video, like okay, they do the intro here, they talk about this. They say, hey, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments right here at this part of the video. You can do that. And then you can also piggyback off ideas like, oh, this YouTuber didn't explain that right. They're completely wrong on this topic. I can be telling them some better information that they need to know. So you can also do that. So you're one-upping other YouTubers that talk on the topic with your personality or with a better description and a better solution to the answer. And you can also be doing the personality stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have any questions on anything we talked about today? I know we went a little bit over, but.
We're good. I'm good.
Good? Okay. So you have to promise me one thing. If you have a question, you're going to be sending me a message or emailing me, right?
Well, you know
My
I will.
question. Oh, so Jordan, I have a question. Could
Yes.
we? Are you available so we could hire you? Because I know there are lots of contents that we can say, but we are so afraid to make any mistakes or things that we don't do it.
Well, here's the thing. Make mistakes. Do it. That's the whole point. Is I learn way faster from making mistakes than I do with someone talking at my face. So that might not be your style, but that's personally how I learn way better. And
Yes.
some of those are like hard lessons that need to be learned because you might
Yeah.
lose a $1,500 client or you might lose a $900,000 home, but you learn that lesson and you know how to do it, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I would say do both. I'm at your disposal for anything that you guys need to be doing, but at the same time, just post and get out there. You have the head knowledge, but you also need the experience to just do it, right?
Yes. Thank you.
I mean, it's the same for real estate, right? So you have all these mentors that you're talking to, and they're like, hey, do this, this, and this, but how many of us actually do it, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm at that point too. I'm right there with you. I've been a realtor all of 5 weeks now, but I have all this head knowledge that I need experience for. So I need to be going out and doing it myself. And so that's part of like what I'm doing here is my mentor is actually like, hey, you have a lot of this stuff. Everybody else needs that kind of help. So now I'm doing it where it's like, okay, I'm going to set up XYZ amount of meetings. I'm going to be presenting on XYZ topics. I'm going to be doing this seminar. I'm going to be going online here. I'm going to be talking with this person. The whole point of the game is action. Like you can be doing anything you want to do, but if you don't take action, like you're just filling your head with empty knowledge.
You are right. Yes.
So.
And you're already getting a lot of views.
Yeah.
And you just started.
Yep. Yeah, so I just started this on my own channel. Now, I've had experience before. I've been doing social media and YouTube for other clients in the past. So anything from like wedding venues or different, I'm doing one for a stocks channel right now, like stock market stocks. They have about 13,000 subscribers right now on YouTube. And I've been doing other things like business coaching YouTube channels where I help with like the editing and the thumbnails and the SEO background. So you can do a little bit of everything. But the main thing is to just stay in your lane, talk to the person, give them solutions, and post it. Okay. So you can do it simple, you can do it sophisticated, but that's kind of the format of what to do.
So when's the next class?